Hey guys, welcome to Doc Lil Talks Comics, and today we're going to talk about my haul for August the 19th. That is crazy because we're almost through the year. We're almost through with summer. Yes, because it is entirely too hot down here in the South. So let's talk about some comic books. Let's talk about something that'll cool us down, make us think more about wintertime and ice cream and other cool things just like comic books. All right, I'm going to start with the book of the week, and I've got a initial assessment video coming up on this book. But for right now, I just want to say that The Last Driver by Sean Gordon Murphy is my pick of the week, and it is an absolute blast. It's one of the other guys that I watch, he says these go to 11. This is Spinal Tap in a comic book form, baby. I mean, this is just pure raw energy in a comic book form. So watch out for my video talking about The Last Driver from Image Comics. All right, next up we have The Walking Dead issue 143. And this is written by Robert Kirkman, and the art is by Charlie Adler. And we have the continuation of Rick meeting the Whisperers in search of his son Carl. I'll never forget that. But he's trying to find Carl, and he wants to bring Carl back with him. And when he finally does find him, then they talk as father and son. And he says, "You've got to listen to me. If they give us an opening to get out of here, we got to go." And Carl says, I can't leave. Lydia won't leave. She understands me in a way that nobody else understands me. I know that you look at me, Dad, and you look at me, and it's hard to look at me because I'm missing an eye. I'm missing part of what you think I need to be in order to be the son of Rick Grimes. And she doesn't look at me the way that you and everybody else looks at me. And he says, this world is my father, and I've got its looks. So he's not ashamed. He doesn't feel like he needs to wear glasses with a dark lens to cover up what he's lost. And Rick says, "Carl, what are you trying to say?" He says, "I've seen how you look at me. I can see it right now. You look away, you're uncomfortable, you want to hide the way I really look." He says, "Carl, please, this isn't the time for this." He says, "I don't care if the Whisperers hear me. I don't care what they think. All I care about is what she thinks. I know what she thinks. I know what Lydia thinks. And Lydia thinks greatly of me. She's the only one. Not you, not Mom, no one else who looks at me, who actually looks at me like I'm normal. She's not scared or uncomfortable or ashamed." And Rick says, "I'm not ashamed of you." And Carl kind of bows his head and he says, I know you try to protect me from all of this. And you've done the very best you can as Rick Grimes. But it happened and I got hurt. I didn't make it through unscathed, and I have to carry this with me for the rest of my life. I know how I look. I know it's not normal and it's not easy to look at. It's not normal to look at me without flinching. So here we have Carl going through a change. Not a physical change, but an emotional change. He's found somebody that, in his opinion, looks at him with love and with respect and with trust and, nothing else. Hang on a second, guys. And that makes all the difference to him about the way that she looks at him, the way she treats him. He doesn't want to be treated differently because he's Rick Grimes' son. He doesn't want to be treated differently because he's missing a body part that most people would consider essential. And it's very grotesque to see part of your face missing and gone. So it's very, the writing on this book is very natural. I do have to say that, even to the very bitter end. This book is very natural and very true to itself and true to real life. That's what I always thought Robert Kirkman got done perfectly was that he was able to touch into that humanistic quality and show what's really inside of us, the good and the bad. This was a very close second for Pick of the Week, and this is Battle Beast issue number 12, and this is written by Robert Kirkman with art by Ryan Ottley, and you just get to see blood and guts and gore and destruction, and Conquest is going after Battle Beast, and Battle Beast is going after Conquest, and they're just tearing into each other. And it takes, and they're taking everything that the other one can dish out. Conquest punches Battle Beast in the mouth so hard that he breaks all of his teeth. And he says, I hope you like soup, because that's all you're going to be eating. And I mean, they just keep going at it. And he says, you want a worthy death. That's it, okay? I get that. So what do you care about some stupid sword? Because he tossed the sword and kicked it away. And Battle Beast says, it was a gift. You take from me and I will take from you. And so he's already sliced Conquest guts out. And now he tries to gum him to death and eat him. And Conquest says, stop eating me. And in one of the most brutal scenes of this series so far, Conquest just shoves his hand straight through Battle Beast's chest. And Battle Beast says, not enough. Not nearly enough. He says, I want more. And Conquest says, oh, you want more? Me too. And they just go to town on each other. This is one of the bloodiest, goriest books I've seen in a long time. Still doesn't compete with Miracle Man 15, because Miracle Man 15 took place in a real place, as in London, and that blood and gore was on a mass scale instead of two guys beating the living crap out of each other. But you get to see that they're just covered in blood. Both of them are just red as can be. And Conquest says, this is a hell of a fight. And Battle Beast says, it will be a worthy death for one of us. And then they collapse. So I read in the back of the book that this is still not the last fight. But unfortunately, I also read something else in the back of the book. And, Ryan Ottley's got to take another break. And we will not see Battle Beast return until March of 2027. So I am extremely sad that we didn't get to see the total finish of this fight. But I am ready for the next round when these guys come back next March. All right, next up we've got The Last Starfighter, issue number 2. And this is by Ben Rabb and Derek Hughes with art by Willie Roberts. And we open with finding out who the new big bad is going to be, a character called Noxos Coma, aka the Reaper. And so the Reaper is apparently the character that's going and killing all of these new recruits for the Starfleet. And let's see, so they've gone to a planet. Let's see, Maggie and Centauri are on a planet. Let's see, Kaizuan. So the Kaizu is the name of the planet. And they're on the Kaizu trying to find the new recruit. And the Reaper comes down. And she says, greetings, Starfighter. You have been chosen to die by my hand. And he goes to fight her and gets rebuked. But Maggie comes in and tries to save him by shooting the Reaper and misses, but gives the new recruit time to get away. So they're able to get off planet. And let's see. It's just a whole lot going on, but it's world building, okay? I've talked about it before. The Last Starfighter, it was one single movie. This is supposed to be the sequel to it, but you get to see so much. I mean, they've gone down to the last Starfighter, and now they're scouring the globe to try to find new starfighters. So what's it going to take in order to find these new starfighters? Meanwhile, you've got a character named Igwo, and he's ready to be a starfighter. And finally, I have forgotten the main character's last name. And he has to go talk to Igwo and tell him, I know you aced the test, but you can't be a starfighter because your father said no. And so he runs and talks to his father, and he's like, when I'm finally, all I've ever dreamed of being is a starfighter, and now you're going to take that away from me, and you're going to kill it just to spite me. And his father says, I did what I believed was right. Not everyone is cut out to be a starfighter. There are other ways to serve less dangerous positions within the Star League. And so his son gets upset, and he says, no matter what I did, I was never good enough for you. And I guess some things will just never change. So you still have the emotion, you have the raw emotion of trying to rebuild something, and all of these starfighters are getting killed. All these recruits are getting killed before they can even start to rebuild. It would be like Luke Skywalker was trying to rebuild the Jedi Empire and the Jedi Knights, okay? And he's trying to rebuild the Jedi Order. But let's just say that the Empire is just as strong as they were in Empire Strikes Back. And so they're going to these different planets, finding people who are force sensitive and going and killing them before Luke can get there. So how demoralizing would that be to try to build something and you're the only one? It's kind of going back to the Kyle Rayner Green Lantern situation. After Parallax, aka Hal Jordan, went crazy, then Kyle Rayner was truly the only Green Lantern in the universe. How do you rebuild the GL core from one? Think about how many universes, how many planets, how big the multiverse is. And you're going to rebuild the core from one. That's the story that we're telling here in The Last Starfighter, and I cannot get enough of it. All right, next to last book we're going to talk about today is The Lucky Devils #9, and I thought that was the last issue, but they faked me out, those Lucky Devils. There will be an issue 10 coming further down the road. And they swing big. Rake and Collar both swing big in this issue. Rake kills the president and most of his cabinet and puts Star as the new president to try to do as much evil as she possibly can. And then Collar, with his guy, Max, I believe. Let's see. Cam. So Cam his wife has just had a baby, and he's there. And Collar shows up and says, hey, Rake is about to just destroy the world. We're about to see pretty much the Antichrist take over as president. Rake is still controlling Star. Star thought that she got rid of Rake, but she can't do that. That exorcism failed. So what are we going to do? We've got to stop them. And so they go and have a big fight right in the middle of the White House. And it's between Rake and Collar. And eventually Cam and Star say, we need to know the truth. You got to stop lying to us. You have lied every step of the way to get us to where you're at. To get you where you're at, where you're both Z9, and to get us into the positions of power that we can go and destroy the world by doing good. We can manipulate the system in order to giving us what we want, but at the same time, we're destroying hell by doing all these good things. But where is it going to get us in the end? Are we going to be good people? Are we doing good things for bad reasons is what it comes down to. I guess if you're with somebody, you're with your girlfriend or whatever, and you have to lie to her about something huge, like you wrecked your car, or you you had a wedding ring for her and you lost it, or something of massive magnitude, okay? And you have to tell her about it. But what if you don't? What if you find a way to spin it and say it's just one of life's little things? You did what you thought was good by keeping her spirits high, but you still lied to her. You still broke her heart and broke her trust. And, as they say, all things come to light. So eventually she's going to find out. So that's where we're at with Lucky Devils is Star, towards the end of the book, she says, I have to stay president. Humanity must be healed. This is the big fight, the war to end all wars. We're up against the greatest enemy of all. And she says, we're up against evil. We have to stop evil. So this book meandered all over the place. I mean, it was like a busy bee flying all around and everything, and it finally found its heart. So I can't wait to see what issue 10, how we wrap all of this stuff up. All right, and the last book we're going to talk about this week is Arcadia, and this is issue number 7. This is by the Miranda brothers, and colored by Eva de la Cruz, and lettered by Dave Sharp. And the last issue kind of hit you heavy. The last 2 issues kind of hit you emotionally heavy by saying that Mr. Rourke was Halu's father and then killing that character. And then the last issue, then you got to see that Fix, Halu's girlfriend, apparently was starting to have the disease that will break her body down. But now we're trying to get to a new place. We're trying to get to a sanctuary. And this little character, he says, there's no greater honor for me than to guide you to the heart of Arcadia. Immortality awaits you. And she kind of forgets. Fix, is sick. And she kind of forgets Halu and forgets her love for him. And he has to keep reminding her. He takes a little bit of himself and kind of injects it, kind of like, be healed type of thing. And it allows her to remember that they love each other. And so it's still very much a story about not just the family that we didn't know that we had, but now he's trying to build a family with Fix. He's trying to build something bigger. And in order to do that, he has to remind her about, it was the music. And don't forget, guys, in these books, the Miranda brothers are also musicians. So you'll get a QR code on there. And as you're reading the book, you can go along with the soundtrack and, use your phone and a QR reader and all of that. And so that track is called The Last Summer. And so Halu and Fix are laying on a beach, and he says, this is incredible. It feels like the world has nothing left to say beyond these sands. And she says, what are you, a poet now? And he says, you make me happy. Just being around you brings me joy. And she says, you'll get tired of me eventually. You'll say, you talk too much, darling. And he says, no, I won't. You can talk all you want all the time. I like listening to you. And she said, we'll see about that. And so they always seem to find each other. They always come back to each other, no matter how far degraded her memory is. But in the end, he's trying to, within Arcadia, he's trying to heal her. He's trying to find a way that they can be together forever. So it's a love story, and it's a story about sacrifice. And both of those make for a damn fine comic book. All right, guys, that is it for my stack and my haul this week. So I hope you enjoyed watching this video, learning more about these comic books that I pick up each and every week. Please come back, hit that like, hit that subscribe, come back and watch these videos. I do a new video each and every day. I've got another video talking about Chapter 2 of Frank Miller's book. I've got a video talking about the Frank Miller documentary that I watched the other day. Let's see what else I've got coming up. I've got some other retro reviews to do. Probably do another episode of the Mark Bagley ASM retrospective. I've got a lot of stuff in the pipeline, guys, so I hope that you come back, and I hope that you keep enjoying these videos each and every time. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Come back. Check out the channel again tomorrow. Thanks, and have a great day.